first of all, what's your assessment, Cristina, on the trade war escalation between the US and China?
Well, first off, this is just the beginning of the trade war. As you know, the U.S. overnight imposed tariffs on $34 billion worth of Chinese goods, and the Chinese shot back almost immediately with tariffs on U.S. goods for the same amount. Now, here's the thing. The big question, the one that everyone is asking here is, will the U.S. administration make good on a threat to go even higher than the $34 billion and impose tariffs on $500 billion worth of Chinese goods? Of course, if that happens, you're talking about an immediate impact on the U.S. consumer. That is something that the administration has so far been unwilling to do, impose tariffs on consumer goods coming into the U.S. But it seems like, President Trump has made good on his threats in the past when it comes to tariffs, and it looks like he could go ahead and up the ante from here, which will certainly result in China not backing down. Neither side is going to back down from this at this point.
Things are definitely not looking too good, Cristina. Now, Beijing is looking for retaliatory measures, but has been quiet so far on which specific tools it will employ. Do you have any hint?
Couldn't hear your question all that well, but as far as retaliatory tariffs on the United States, that's going to hurt U.S. production for the most part, U.S. companies, U.S. employers right now. So if you look at it, these employers are going to be hit on two fronts. One, on the raw material that's imported to make certain products. So we could see a ripple effect on that front. Two, some exporters in the U.S., like soybean farmers and other agricultural products, are being hit by the Chinese, and those producers will be impacted. Now, we have heard some U.S. officials talk about helping farmers, possibly softening the blow to U.S. farmers that feel it. But we haven't had any specific information about how the administration plans to do that. And this is an important constituency for the president. A lot of these farmers voted for President Trump, and now they feel a little bit betrayed. But as far as we can tell in the polling, they're still with him.
Absolutely, Cristina. Now, before we go, for how long do you think will this tit for tat game continue? And what about the impact on global growth?
That's the big question. Most economist investors that I spoke to say that this is just the beginning. This will extend at least through the fall, and maybe even longer than that. And you have to factor in politics here, right? Because in the U.S., we are facing midterm elections, and there are many lawmakers who are seeking re-election. So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out for them, because on the one hand, they need to protect their constituents, the employers in their state who may be impacted. On the other hand, these lawmakers, these Republican lawmakers, probably don't want to provoke the president because they need his support. So that's the politics of it. From a global growth standpoint, I haven't spoken to one economist or investor who thinks that this is actually good for global economic growth. Almost all across the board, people think, investors and economists think that these trade escalations, these tariffs, these retaliatory tariffs will hurt and diminish global growth.
Nobody could really escape it, isn't it, Cristina? Thank you so much for joining us. Have a happy Friday despite the US-China trade war coverage.
You do the same. Thank you.